If you're drunk,
Blasted.
intoxicated, ripped, plastered, taint, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
Sports show in New Mexico.
For 5 years running. It's the OD and the AM with Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Late night conference U.S. action. Oh, yeah, but nothing like it. Nothing like it. Kicking game adventures in double overtime. And if you made it to the end, Aggie fan, you got paid off. Good morning, boys and girls. Happy Wednesday. Happy winter. Or I don't know, is this fall? Did we skip fall? We're going straight into the cold and the snow and the rain this weekend. Told you, those of you who are complaining about 82, oh, it's so hot. Relax. Stop complaining. Enjoy it, because you're going to be begging for it in a few weeks. A few weeks might be here soon. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. It's the opening drive. How you living?
What it do?
All right, you got a hoodie on. I mean, it felt different this morning, didn't it?
It did. Chill in the air.
Yep.
Taste the fall. I'm all about that 80-degree life myself.
Yeah, seriously, everybody's been saying, oh, I can't believe it's just so hot. Will you stop, please? Like, 82 has been perfect. And in 3 weeks, you're going to be running to Arizona and California to just go get warm again. So, yeah, enjoy it. To make it to the last night, I fell asleep a few times, but I was
like sitting there. Wait a second. I know there's 2-point conversion, but at some point, do you have to just stop kicking field goals and just go try to win the game?
Well, because the field goal kickers were unbelievable last night. Aggies
both good and bad.
Seriously, no, and kind of almost bad, but still good. Like some of the kicks that the Louisiana Tech kid made were ugly, but they went through. New Mexico State's field goal kicker in overtime barely sneaked it in just inside the right upright. The Aggies block a field goal. Malachi Tasse blocked a field goal at the end, the last play of regulation that would have won it, a short field goal for Louisiana Tech. And in overtime, actually in double overtime, New Mexico State had to have it, if there's any hope alive, victory over Louisiana Tech last night at Aggie Memorial Stadium. 33-30 was the final score. Mike Washington scored in the second overtime after Louisiana Tech had kicked a field goal. I thought the Aggie defense, the numbers are going to tell you a story, and not the whole story in this one. Like, the numbers are going to tell you a story, but it was in the middle of the fourth quarter where the Aggies had given up like 44 yards rushing all night long.
The numbers still tell you a pretty good story.
Yeah, it's not crazy numbers. It's 340 yards total and 121 yards rushing that they gave up. But midway through the fourth, when it was like 17 all or whatever the number was, they'd given up 41 yards, and they were on the field a lot. I thought it was crazy. They get the ball back. The Aggies did the end of the game, and Parker Awad comes out, and they bring in Brandon Nunez. And I'm like, whoa, this is like their fourth quarterback of the year, right?
I liked what they did offensively with Nunez.
100%.
Parker, they, in that pistol, used a lot of 3 running back sets, just straight power run game, quarterback run game. Nunez found the end zone twice on the ground.
Yep.
I like the rushing ability that he brought to the offense.
I can't agree with you more, and I was kind of surprised they went there. He scored a couple of touchdowns. He had the big pass to the sideline to set up the winning touchdown. I was surprised that Tony went there with everything on the line. It paid off. Did they get lucky with the blocked field goal? I mean, you decide what luck is, or do you create your own luck or whatever. I don't even care at this point. You block the punt, or you block the field goal. There was a personal foul penalty on that last drive that aided it. They had to have it. I don't know if there's enough left on there. You got to figure with where they're going. They still got Sam Houston, and they still got that game at Texas A&M. So if you figure they lose the game to A&M, they've got to run the table to be bowl eligible. But you can't run the table until you win the first one. Next up, they got a tough one at FIU. Then they got to go to Western Kentucky. Then they got to go to A&M. They're not home until November 23rd. They got 2 left at home against Middle Tennessee and UTEP. I'm not sure. I think that they're going to get there, but
this isn't the team with Diego Pavia and all those guys.
But they looked like a different team last night, didn't they?
But they've looked like a different team against Liberty.
Yeah.
And they're
for 3.5 quarters.
Yeah, they're going to be a roller coaster ride.
Yeah.
This year, I like the way they stepped up in the moment, but it's hard for me to watch this team to this point and say, "Oh, now they're going to be able to pick off 4 more."
Yeah. Bye week next week, so they don't play next week. It'll be 2 Tuesdays, the 29th, where they go to FIU, and then they're back on Saturdays at Western Kentucky. Good win though, just a good win. I mean, any win's a good win. They were 11.5 point dogs yesterday, and a Louisiana Tech team who put up 52, I want to say, the week before against Middle Tennessee, and was able to. 48 the week before against Middle Tennessee. And they were able to, for the most part, shut them down. I mean, the fourth quarter, they gave up 16 points in the fourth quarter overtime, and the announcers kept saying this doesn't look like a 105 football team. They look.
Did you not
better.
watch the other game?
Yeah, right. No, seriously. But I mean, defensively, I thought they were. I mean, JJ, to me, that was the difference. You can go through.
I agree.
4 or 5 quarterbacks, but to me, the difference was defense yesterday.
I agree. The third quarter, they shut down Louisiana Tech. They were down 14-10 at halftime. They turned that game around in the third quarter, and you took advantage of another team's mistake. Louisiana Tech struggled multiple times on just the snap to the holder on field goal attempts. Wow. And that final drive, La Tech went down the field, converted 4th down, took a lot of time off the clock on multiple drives in the fourth quarter. And you blocked the field goal, but then you came back and made the plays in overtime.
Yeah, I think you almost cost yourself on those muff punts. I mean, you got to learn how to catch a punt. You just do. Or either that or get away from it, let it bounce around, and take the field position wherever the hell it is. I mean, I would almost like, if I'm the head coach, I'm walking in, I'm like, you know what? I don't want anybody back there. I just, is that embarrassing? Yeah, but muffin punts like that probably, if you're Sonny Cumbie in Louisiana Tech, you're thinking, how the hell did we lose that? Like, he's walking out there. We were set up at the end. You could see him. He was all set up. He was confident right at the end of regulation and squatted down. We're just going to kick a field goal and get the hell out of here. It gets blocked, and they lose double overtime. Aggie fan, it's your day today, or at least partially. 505-246-0610. How to get in today. It was a must-win. Must-win for what? I don't know. To keep a little hope alive, to keep it going this year, to not turn the page completely to basketball season. I mean, whatever it is, you needed to see something, didn't you? And yes. You did. You won a league game yesterday, and it was on national TV, and it was a good win. Not sitting here telling you they're winning a championship or even going to a bowl game. Must win to keep this thing rolling. Get it.
You
turn
play
to win
the game.
Yeah, I think that's all right. Good stat that you dug up. I don't know where this came from, but it was good. New Mexico State's 10-3 in their last 13 home games. 5-1 in their last 6 conference home games, which is pretty good. Brandon Nunez, the senior transfer quarterback from Fullerton College, 4-7, 49 yards, 33 of them on the final drive of regulation to tie the game. Like, he came off the bench. I'm like, holy bleep! Like, look at where's this 6'5" quarterback been with the good hair?
Hey, the run game. That's what they need to lean into.
Yeah. He had 2 rushing touchdowns. Parker Awad, the starter, 11 for 22, and I thought he played fine too. 155 yards and a touchdown. Didn't turn the ball over. That's
where I was going next. They didn't turn the football over.
Yeah.
In with their quarterbacks.
Yeah. Aggies rushed for 165 yards and 3 touchdowns on the ground. Louisiana Tech had 360 total yards, but again, midway through the fourth, they had only rushed for 40-something yards, man. And the Aggies
I'll take that in a college football
100%
game.
100% you will.
Absolutely.
And more so, you'll take it when you win, right? I mean, the Aggies didn't kill it either. They ran for 160. They had, 364 yards of total offense. It was a sloppy game of time, and for crying out loud, the end of that game was like watching the Jets and Bills. with all the stoppages and replays.
Oh, man. Following play is under review. See if he made the line and gain.
Every play.
And then the touchdown is like, of course he was on people.
Yes, he was.
I did not see that.
What are we looking at? I know. And I'm falling asleep. I'm like, come on, man. And I thought about going down there. And I'm like, damn, that'd be a tough spot to be falling asleep right there on Mario's patio or something.
A lot of people are feeling the way at the end of that game.
100%.
Get the win, Aggie fans. Enjoy the moment.
Enjoy a win. They don't come along very often, but you got to win 2-5 overall, 1-3 in Conference USA, a bye next week, and you go to Florida International the following Tuesday and continue Conference USA play. Aggie fan or whomever, 505-246-0610 is how to get here today. Area code 505-246-0610. Your emails come in this morning. Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com. JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. Feel free to text us as well. 505-246-0610. We're on the visual medium as well. You can find us on ProView Networks. Comcast Channel 26, our Facebook page, the OD and the AM, ProView Networks YouTube channel. Adrian is producing, as he does daily over on ProView Networks, and it's a great way to consume the product. He gives you a little video accoutrement additions, extras on the video side as well, so you can do that. We got a lot to do today, man. We're going to get through the Yankees beating the Guardians, Aaron Judge waking up, and the Guardians had chances, and it's trade season in the NFL, boys and girls. As we sat here yesterday, Devontae Adams moved, but was that the biggest, or at least the most impactful move of the day? Methinks not. I wonder what you think. We'll get into that when we come back. Hey, if you've been the victim of property crime, home property crime, business property crime, you get it, and you know that it takes way too long for police to respond, right? It's just, it could take days, it could take hours, whatever. It's too long. IPS is there within 5 to 7 minutes. Look, there's just not enough police. It's not that they're not doing their job. There's not enough of them. IPS is affordable private security. That's what they do. They protect what's important to you, your business, your home. You've seen them in your neighborhood. You've seen them at your stores. I've trusted IPS for years. They come by my home every single day. When I travel, they're there multiple times. They'll pick up newspapers. They'll roll the garbage cans to the curb and back on garbage day. They'll pick up packages that are left on the porch or pick up mail, whatever it is, so the bad guys don't get it. They keep what you have worked so hard to build safe. They install alarms, camera systems, state-of-the-art facility to monitor those cameras 24/7. All this raises the level of security around your home and your business. So who's watching your home? Who's watching your business when you're not there? Make sure it's the good guys. You can't prevent all the crime, but if you have no protection, you're more likely to be victimized. Makes sense. 505-897-2420 is their number. 505-897-2420. They are online at ipsglobal.com. IPS, making Albuquerque and Santa Fe better and safer places to live and work.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki, I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
Seriously? You expect me to drive while you aren't wearing seatbelts?
What's the worst that can happen?
Seriously? Buckle up.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. Our law firm was founded by my father, Thibaut J. Chavez, with one goal: to get New Mexicans the help they need. That's why we built a different kind of law firm. We focus on family values, dedicated service, and we make a real contribution by giving back to our communities. We can't change what happened to you or your loved ones, but we can help you get back on the road to recovery. We're by your side, and we're still as local as red and green.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
You followed him from the first day he signed with...
In the division, games against the Jets. And this is a dude that Cleveland played 5 quarterbacks last year, and he still had 72 catches for 1,200 yards. And now he's got a proven top 3 quarterback in the NFL, an offense that's going to get him excited to be on the football field once again. Easy that right there, this is going to be an impactful move, because the thing with receivers in this case, like, they're not looking at him to come in and save anything. He's adding to what they have. And that's always what I'm looking for. A receiver is not going to change your fate.
I agree with that.
But a receiver can
never does
add, and you already have an established foundation offensively. You have the quarterback, and it just adds to the already playoff potential that the Buffalo Bills have.
So when Cleveland got Amari Cooper from the Cowboys, I'm trying to remember this whole thing. This was in 2022, March 16th of 2022. Cooper was the best receiver the Cowboys had, but Jerry didn't want to pay him. And so Cleveland sent a 5th-round pick in 2022 and swapped 6th-round picks with the Cowboys. So it was a 5th and a 6th-round swap, right? That's what Jerry got for Amari Cooper. I don't want to say he was outmaneuvered by the Browns, but the Browns got a 3rd and a 7th, right? That's better than a 5th and a 6th swap, isn't it?
It is.
I mean, who did a better job here of trading Amari Cooper, Jerry Jones or the Cleveland Browns? I'm just asking. Is he better now, or was he better then?
Probably going to take him a little bit younger, but he's...
Yeah, I need him in the immediate, though. I'm worried about 4 years
for
out.
who he is now.
Yeah. I think he's a pretty good low-end, and I say low-end, number 1 receiver. Meaning, I don't think he's Justin Jefferson, and I don't think he is...
No, he's not.
DK Metcalf or Marvin Harrison. And maybe you can say he's where?
DK Metcalf.
You think so?
The same exact. Yes.
Yeah, I think Metcalf's better,
Okay,
but that's just me.
The numbers are the same.
Okay.
Like Metcalf physically is like this Metcalf feels like he should be a 100-catch dude.
Yeah.
He's a 70-catch dude.
All right, so who are you giving me? Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb? Is that your top of the world?
Elite tier.
All right, is he on the next shelf? Is that what you're telling me?
He's still. I take AJ Brown over him, but
you putting AJ Brown on that top shelf or on that next shelf?
He can be at the bottom of the top shelf for me.
Okay.
But he's wide receiver.
So he's the
one.
top 10 receiver in the league.
I still think he can be.
I think he can be too. Yeah, I do too.
In this offense. Now, anybody who's taking time out of their day to sit in the Sports Animal studio, it's always going to be a friend of ours, as Mark Cooper has. Yeah. You weren't here that time when Mark Cooper rolled through town.
No.
Yeah.
When was this?
Ooh, a couple years ago.
Really? Where was I? I mean, I'm always here.
I think it was goodness.
All right, then I like him a lot more, even.
Yeah.
Because
Hoser was still pretty soon when he rolled.
So that was about 5 years ago. But you agree with me that this is the most impactful move yesterday?
It was, because I was on board with you. Like, you look at, all right, you bring in Devontae Adams, but even before that trade, you're saying, all right, there's a path that this team can get back to 500.
That's right.
This team is still, if you look at the AFC wildcard teams, actually still trust the Jets over the other ones that are in that race. You're comparing them like the Broncos and
if you feel the Bills are going to win the East, and you feel the Chiefs are going to win the West, and that the Texans are going to win the South, right? Okay, and then I think most of us feel Baltimore is going to rise above Pittsburgh, right? So if you just say Kansas City, Houston, Baltimore, and Buffalo, so there's 3 teams left. Your wild card contenders, as we sit here and look, man, you're 6 weeks into a 17-game schedule.
It's a must-win game for them this weekend, though.
For who?
For the Jets.
Who do they got this weekend?
The Steelers.
Okay. I think it's a big game.
Especially
I don't know if
they're going to be battling the Steelers for a wild card spot.
Yeah, because we're talking. It's Steelers. I mean, we're looking at a lot of 2-win teams now. You're projecting. You're looking at Steelers, Colts, Chargers. I mean, Broncos are 3-3. You're shaking your head. So you're saying that 2-4 team's got a way better chance than that 3-3 team?
Yes.
You're probably right. No, I agree with you. Who's better? Although the Broncos beat them. Broncos beat them head-to-head, so they got the tiebreaker on them. So really, they got a 2-game lead on them, right?
Yeah, and it's about winning the moments. And for the Broncos, you're going in playing Spencer Rattler and the Saints in New Orleans, and the Panthers after that.
Okay, Spencer Rattler looked way better than I thought Spencer Rattler was going to look. Do you disagree with me?
Looked like rookie quarterback making his first start.
He looked like a rookie quarterback making his first start, but not like a 6th round or whatever. What round was Spencer Rattler?
4th round pick.
He didn't look like a late round pick. Spencer Rattler looked like he belonged. Like, I was so totally. Now, they lost, and Spencer Rattler threw 2 interceptions, 22 for 40, 243 yards. That offense moved, dude.
Well, not.
They didn't run the ball. They had 81 yards.
27 points in the second quarter.
Okay.
And they had a special teams touchdown in there.
Yeah, one of them was.
And then Spencer Rattler in their second half threw 100 yards and 2 interceptions.
He did throw the 2 interceptions. I guess I watched a lot of the first half. I slept through a lot of it. It was Balloon Fiesta nap. But every time oh God, I'm still hurt. And then last night staying up and watching the replay fest.
And this is the thing. So we watched the Broncos beat the Jets 10-9. I also watched the Broncos quarterback throw for 6 yards in that game.
Yes.
Bo Nix actually.
Yes.
The metrics. You have to look at it. The only quarterback that's worse than Bo Nix right now is Deshaun Watson. So they could go out there and be a 5-win team. I still would think the Jets would be better than the Broncos.
Okay, no, I do too. But they beat them. But my point is, though, right now, and look, again, 6 games into a 17-game schedule, the Broncos, if we're talking about you're competing against them for a wild card, Broncos have a 1-game lead on them, and it's actually 2 because they own the tiebreaker.
So the Jets have to get it done this weekend against the Steelers.
Yeah, you got. I mean, all these little opportunities as you go. I mean, what is it going to be? 9-8, 10-7? Is that what it's going to be to get into the wild card? And the AFC is probably going to be 9-8.
Heck, at this point, it might be Denver and the Jets.
It could be
better.
Yeah, and the Steelers. Yeah. All right, 505-246-0610. I'm curious, with all the moves yesterday, where you are, what you think of it. I want to get into the realignment stuff, and with Hawaii joining yesterday and the still talk of Northern Illinois and Toledo and the other things, the basketball, there's a lot of noise out there. So just your thoughts on realignment in college football and certainly within the Mountain West Conference. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. Thank you for being with us this morning on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We were on the air. It came down officially. Hawaii is joining the Mountain West as a full member. So that puts the Mountain West at the minimum to be this is both football. They were already there for football, but to be a Division I conference for your other sports, which I think should give you a little stability. Okay, you're fine. You're moving on. You've got your 8, and that doesn't mean you have to end there, but you had to start there. Does that make sense? Right? You got the Pac that's got 7. They're looking where they going. People say, "Oh, they're going to get Memphis." Are they though? I mean, if they don't, where are they going? Like honestly, if the Pac, JJ, at this point, if they do not lure Memphis and or Tulane and or UTSA or whomever it is that they're trying to get, and as of now, all those schools have said no. Where do they go? New Mexico State? Wouldn't that be something? By the way, Mario said we can crash on his patio anytime, which I very much appreciate. He says, always welcome to snooze on the patio, my friends, which I appreciate that. Great win for New Mexico State, and congratulations to them last night. But where do they go? I mean, wouldn't that be something? Is it Sacramento State? Is it? I don't think anything's going to diminish. Like if they, I don't know, maybe you think so. So let's say they have those 7, right? They've got Oregon State, Washington State, San Diego State, Boise State, Colorado State, Fresno State, Utah State. Maybe you have to have state in your name. Maybe it'll be the Pac State Conference. Where do they go? Is it Sac State? And does it diminish? If they're not going to add anything, a market that ups their television value, does it hurt them, do you think, if they add a Sacramento State who's transitioning up to FCS? I'm running out of ideas here for them.
Feels like it has to be Memphis at this point.
They're really banking on that. And so maybe Memphis is sitting there and pay me. Nope, not enough. Yeah. I want more. Pay me more. Pay me more. Pay me more. Because it does feel like it's got to be Memphis at this point, doesn't it?
And then all the schools that defected to leave the bad in the Mountain West, Boise State can feel like the rest of the Mountain West when they gave everything to the Broncos to stay and keep the Mountain West together. And that's what it's going to end up being for a school like Memphis.
Well, it's like they're doing now. I mean, certainly Air Force and UNLV are getting a bigger share now in the Mountain West. And I don't know what you think Memphis's brand is. It's a nice brand. Does it resonate better nationally than San Diego State or Boise State or Colorado State? I don't know that it does. I mean, it does in that region. It gives you the central time zone, which is something I think they really want to get into. Like I told you yesterday, I was having that conversation, and I think that's where you're why the Mountain West is looking at Northern Illinois and Toledo to expand time zones, to open up more windows, television windows. But I don't know where they go. So the Mountain West has the 8 full members it needs to be recognized as a conference. All right. Brett McMurphy. I probably should reach out to Brett, huh? Maybe get him on this week. He's been reporting of Action Network that the Mountain West is still open to trying to lure Toledo and Northern Illinois football-only members. Not imminent, he says. But they like that concept. So Hawaii to Toledo would be something. It'd be a hell of a league. But borders have no borders. You know what I'm saying? Leagues have no borders anymore. The media rights for 5 time zones they feel would help them right? It helped expand their media rights. And I've told you, I've talked to some people, and there is conversation about potentially adding basketball or non-football. I say basketball only isn't right. It's non-football, right? Because I think if you added St. Mary's or Grand Canyon or something, they would bring all their sports.
That's just kind of the way it's phrased in the conversation. Because what really people are worried about now.
Correct.
In this market, it's the basketball.
100%. All right. The travel subsidies, from what we understand, are no longer. So since 2012, Hawaii offered travel subsidies to the Mountain West schools for going out to the islands. They also offered travel subsidies to their Big West partners. The athletic director in Hawaii is Craig Angelos, and he told Spectrum News yesterday, that's a Hawaii outlet, that there will be no more travel subsidies. Now, I don't know if that's just for football or what the deal is. I was not able to come get any answers on that. But there's a one-time payment structure that was signed last year. Remember where Hawaii got only 5%? So that'll be altered. They'll receive a full revenue share in the future of the media rights. But the other sports, Hawaii has men's volleyball, water polo, beach volleyball, swimming, and diving, which the Mountain West does not sponsor, so they're going to have to find another place. I don't know if the Big West will let them stay there or what they're going to do with those. All right. I'm going to tell you, the majority of the response I got on this, it was, okay, like, good that there's stability, fine, Hawaii, whatever. Hawaii, I'm going to probably argue with you, was probably as good of a brand as you were going to get. Don't you think?
Yes, I agree with you on that. I think this is one that it makes a lot of sense. You don't have to wait on transition time. You don't have to wait on certain sports to get up to a Division I level. You can slide them in. And I know Hawaii has acknowledged that they're going to have to take steps forward.
Yeah.
Especially in basketball, and that's a big part of the conversation. And I was reading through the question and answer that the athletic director did, and there was something in there that I want to touch on, too, when we get back about the Mountain West Pac-12 and what people thought was going to happen.
All right, we'll do that when we get back, and I want to address the New Mexico State thing, too. I've been on the record. I'd love to see New Mexico State in this league. I think it would be wonderful. And I know, like I told you yesterday, those conversations have happened. It's been in large part about budget and getting New Mexico State's budget to a certain place and what the Mountain West wants for a budget. New Mexico State's at about $30 million for their athletic budget. I think the league wants them to be somewhere closer to $45 million to enter. And how do you get there? So is that conversation closed? I'm not certain it is. But I want to hit what JJ had to say coming from the Hawaii side next. You're in at 505-246-0610 on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. Our law firm was founded by my father, Thibaut J. Chavez, with one goal: to get New Mexicans the help they need. That's why we built a different kind of law firm. We focus on family values, dedicated service, and we make a real contribution by giving back to our communities. We can't change what happened to you or your loved ones, but we can help you get back on the road to recovery. We're by your side, and we're still as local as red and green.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro View. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on Pro View Networks.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
Full member. What now? Where would you like to see it go? How do you feel about that? And I know you got some other thoughts on this.
Well, I was reading through the Spectrum News question and answer with the
Craig
Hawaii
Angelos,
athletic director, and one of the questions was from McMinnis, who wrote the article, was, were you and the president of Hawaii aligned with this move? And the answer was, part of it was when the Pac-12 separated, and it was just the two of them, referring to Oregon State and Washington State over there, the president and I and all of us felt there would be some type of merger into a 14-team conference. And I keep going back to that because, there's a lot of frustration, a lot of people upset. The Mountain West didn't do enough. These schools didn't do enough. I think once they had the scheduling agreement, they were with football, they were looking forward. I do think the Mountain West thought, hey, we'll help you out. We'll build our brand together, and then we'll come together. And
under your flag.
Yeah. But I don't think they realized that, Washington State and Oregon State were going to be so aggressive to then just fill the top, and then how adamant those top schools in the Mountain West would be to say, peace out.
Yeah, I think there were 4 schools who were never on board with that. No matter what they may have said in meetings. Those were Washington State and Oregon State, San Diego State and Boise State, who always felt that they were better. And maybe they are. Maybe they're not. But who always felt that they were a better brand and brought more value than what they feel is the bottom. Nevada, New Mexico, Wyoming, San Jose State. Yeah. Harrison, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. How you doing, Harrison?
I'm doing good. I hope you guys are doing well.
Thanks.
One thing that I've noticed just recently is a lot of these Big Ten new members and Big 12 new members are realizing that, they're having a lot of travel to go to big games. And looking at Ohio State, they went to Oregon and got beat. So there's a lot of people, I think, that are going to see that as, this travel thing is just it's something that is real. And getting a new team like a Memphis, I don't think Memphis is really excited to go travel halfway across the United States or more to compete in every conference away game. Is that might not be a big. They might not want to do that, and I think that a lot of that's a factor here that a lot of people are. I don't think it's not mentioned, but it's something important. And for the Mountain West, we've got a one-off in Hawaii. That's a long travel, but that's only one school. So I think that travel issue is going to be something that's going to come into the discussion, especially for teams that are in the Mountain West kind of budget area.
Let me throw it a little deeper on you, because I don't think we're here yet, because I think you're right, and I think you're onto something, right? In the Big Ten, I think the only team that has traveled 2 time zones and won so far is Indiana winning at UCLA. I could be wrong, but I think that's right. Right? When SC went to Minnesota, they lost. SC went to Michigan, they lost. Michigan to Washington, they lost. All right, all those things. Wait till you start traveling your softball teams and your volleyball teams and everybody else. Then, and they're not traveling charter, or maybe they are. I don't know how this is going to work, but in the middle of school, and you got UCLA's women's basketball team or their softball team going to Rutgers and Penn State and having to make those and keep grades up, in Stanford and Cal, high academic institutions, running their tennis squads and their women's soccer teams over to Miami and Syracuse. I think that conversation ramps up then too, because I think you're onto something. I think it's real.
Yeah, and I mean that. I think for Mountain West expanding, I think a lot of people are considering that, especially like I said, Stanford might have the budget for it, but some of the other teams that we're looking at might not have the budget for it. And I think that's going to be a factor. The good thing is that the Mountain West right now is whole with 8 teams. And the Pac-10 or 12 or whoever, it's 7 or whatever you want to call them, they're not whole right now.
That's
and
right.
they're kind of, and I think they're in a way a little bit scrambling to try and find that set 8 school to make them whole. And that's going to be an interesting factor. And the other thing I think UNM is actually doing is trying to ramp up for 2030 and 2032, because when all these agreements are going to come up, are going to be ending at that time, and I think things are going to blow up again at that point. So, and especially, I think we'll go back more to the regional type of conferences that we don't have now.
Yeah, and I think there may be, and Harrison, appreciate the call. Thank you. JJ, I think what he's talking about in a couple of years, I think you may, and this is where maybe logic is taking over business. When you have the next round of media rights negotiations in 2034, whatever the number is, 32, whatever, do you see a possibility of football leagues looking different than everything else? Meaning you going back to regionality and common sense and rivalries for basketball, baseball, everything else. And football, you know what? It is different, right? So these are your football leagues. Go negotiate, go knock yourself out, go get the most money. But you know what? I understand that yeah, if SC's playing with Arizona in the same league, or UCLA and Arizona are playing basketball in the same league, and USC's getting $90 million in media rights and Arizona's getting 40, yeah, it's an unfair playing surface. But you know what, man? What are we doing? You shaking your head a little bit?
Well,
Or
why would we not be there right now?
because we're not there yet.
But we'll be there in 6 years. It's because it's the same. You've said the whole time. I've been screaming that forever. How long? So many people are.
So,
like, separate the sports, but then it comes back to, well, if you're in a conference, you can't be $50 million behind the other conference members.
Right. And that's why we're not there. Okay, that's why. I think we've realized, especially when it comes to this, if it makes sense, it's probably not going to happen, right? If it makes sense, and it's going the other way, and so maybe not, right? Maybe if we, like when you talk about the Super League, okay, and we're talking about the 7-team Super League in football, is that everything? What does that look like for softball and basketball and everything else? I mean, I get it, football is what, but Richard Pitino's sitting over there going, wait a minute, man, dude, like my team can play with theirs. Am I in your little Super League? Or what league am I in? What look at my building, look at my fan base, look at my team. They're better than that one and 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 that one. I don't know, man. All right, 505-246-0610. When we come back, a couple things. They're 4-2. Their quarterback's playing well. Are they really, really, really benching their quarterback? And you want it to be a big-time sport. All that comes with it isn't fun. In fact, a lot of it is nasty. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off.
Big win on national TV last night for New Mexico State. Double overtime late night. Aggies get their second win of the year, first conference win. They beat Louisiana Tech 33-30 in overtime. Mike Washington with a winning touchdown in double overtime, in fact. Brandon Nunez, the quarterback, came off the bench, ran the ball well, scored twice on the ground. And the Aggies, I thought their defense played day and night differently than we've seen them in the past. They gave up 30 points, but 6 of them were in overtime, 24 in regulation, and blocked field goal at the end of regulation and win the game 33-30. It was a must win. JJ, when you look in the locker room, we talked to Bronco Mendenhall a few weeks ago when they won their first game and how, you work and you work and you work and preach and practice, and at some point you got to get a payoff, and they needed a payoff. That's what that win was for New Mexico State last night.
And they've shown flashes. Go back to the Liberty game, for 3 quarters last night. They were able to do it in the crunch time and take advantage of a mistake. Louisiana Tech tie games drove right down the field in the field goal range, and they could not execute again when it comes to the snap and the hold, and they blocked the kick, and then New Mexico State was able to go out there and make plays in overtime.
Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck, it's the opening drive. We got Social Distortion tickets to give away. 2 of them we'll do at 9:10 this morning, so be with us at 9:10, as you always are. 2 tickets to go see Social D out at the Rio Rancho Event Center next Tuesday, the 22nd of October. 505-246-0610 is how to get here today. 888-922-0610. If for whatever reason you still pay a toll, you can send emails, Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com, JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. On the text line, the New Mexico Lobos did lay the New Mexico State Aggies to rest this season with a convincing victory in a game that was never in doubt. The ensuing occasional rare victory NMSU may stumble upon the rest of the way only helps to bolster UNM's RPI. The Lobos beat New Mexico State this season. Thank you. Yeah, we know that, right? One team's going to win that rivalry game. Should we not talk about the other team going forward? RPI is not. It's not a football metric, is it? Is there any RPI?
No.
Okay. That's the same guy who said yesterday, "Stop with the NMSU talk to the Mountain West is useless as your Tiger Woods updates." He just doesn't want it, unless it's, and especially if they beat your team, then he sure doesn't want to hear it. This one says the lagging 8th team to reestablish the eligibility of the Pac-12 shouldn't be hard to find. Likely find or get. It could be Montana, UTEP, Tulane, Rice. What about Alaska? Does it have a state university join the Pac-12? UTEP just joined the Mountain West. I'm sure Tulane, right? Tulane said no. Rice is interesting, actually. It would have fit their old academic profile and get them into Houston.
Academics.
Isn't that cute?
You're funny.
No, it's cute. Montana. I mean, where are they going? And again, this whole, hey, go get you Tulane or Rice. Tulane and Rice are in the American making more money out of their TV deal than I think you can guarantee them in the Pac-12 right now. And that's why Memphis didn't jump. That's why Tulane didn't go the first time. You're selling me a projection. And this is why they went on hiatus. They hired these consultants, and they're going out and they're putting together all these different scenarios. Well, if it's these 7 plus this school, if it's these 7 plus these 3 schools, if it's this is what we believe our media deal is going to be worth when we take it to market. And then you've got to get somebody to bite and say, okay, yeah, it's worth us paying the buyout to our current league and taking the chance that it's gonna make sense. Oh, and it's got to pencil out as far as the added travel and everything else. The Memphis fans are they're screaming like crazy. They want out of their league. They think they're better than that league, and they think somehow the Pac is better, and they don't have to pay the bills, right? Why do we have to play East Carolina and Tulsa? I got it. All right, 505-246-0610. JJ, Mike Tomlin's a good coach. He wins. And so it's hard to sit here and go, what the hell's he doing? But they're 4-2. Is he playing a game here with Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, or is he really thinking of starting Russell Wilson this weekend?
He's really thinking of starting Russell Wilson this weekend.
When it's all said and done Sunday, when they go out and they play against the Jets, is that a night game?
Sunday Night Football.
So if you got him on your fantasy team, you're jacked, right? He's going to play this thing all the way down to the wire, right?
Yes. If you're hoping to get a couple more Justin Fields rushing touchdowns, that's an uneasy feeling right now.
Oh, you got to find a quarterback. Who do I get rid of? Smith and Jigba, Waddle, or Pickens to make room for an extra? Or do
Pickens.
Or do I just get rid of
or
waive Fields?
Just waive Fields. Because here's the thing football-wise.
Yeah.
Justin Fields is 4-2.
Yeah.
He was never the shoe-in, was never going to just outright run away from this job. Because Mike Tomlin, since they acquired Russell Wilson, has put him in pole position. Since Justin Fields has been playing over Russell Wilson, since Justin Fields has been healthy, it's still been about, we'll see, we'll leave that door open for Russell Wilson.
So I told you all offseason I thought this was going to be Fields' job. And we thought it was a relatively rough start, right? The Falcons, Broncos, Chargers, Colts, Cowboys. We were like, well, they got a hard start. Here come the Jets, the Giants, the Commanders, the Ravens. So you run Russell Wilson out there and get beat by the Jets this weekend. Let's just say. It's Sunday night, another national TV game. I think the Jets beat him. You just told me you think the Jets are going to beat him, right? And you run Russell Wilson out there. You go back to Justin Fields? Are you playing musical quarterbacks? And if there's a coach that'll do it, it'll be him, right? He doesn't give a damn what you think.
No, it would be Antonio Pierce.
Well, he's already done that. Fair enough. Who's a better quarterback, do you think? You know where I am on Russ. I just think there's nothing there.
Nothing there, but so all the stats were just fake last year?
I thought they were empty, yeah. Yeah, I thought they were empty stats, yeah. Yeah, they didn't win. Yeah, I thought they were empty stats. Yeah, I just, when my eyes tell me that there's nothing there, I'd rather go with this guy. That's
because he can run, not because he can play quarterback.
I think he can play quarterback, and I think that I know what the numbers are.
5 touchdown passes.
What's the bottom line? He's 4-2, dude.
But
he's
I think
not
the problem
turning the
is,
ball over.
They're 4-2 because he's not losing them a game.
Okay, that's part of the job.
But also, you want to look at, can this guy win me a game?
Okay, fair enough. No, that's fair. It's fair. And the 2 losses were close losses. They lost 2 games by 3 points.
And I think that's probably, when you're looking at this offense, most of us would just go, Justin Fields, he can run the football. It gives you that spark.
So you're in favor of this?
I'm just wondering, is Tomlin, is there something where they feel like they can be more efficient overall in the passing game, thus they feel that they'll get enough out of Najee Harris and Jalen Warren? Because I'm just trying to say, or what is Tomlin seeing or not seeing, outside of, yes, they're 4-2, that he would be this open the entire time, and then right back to giving Russell Wilson first team reps and possibly starting that game on Sunday.
All right. This is going to be an interesting one because, the offense hasn't been screaming. It hasn't. they scored 18 in a win, 13 in a win, 20 in a win, 24 and 17 in a loss. And then they scored 32 last week. Guy doesn't turn the ball over. It feels like the team's behind him. It'll be interesting. And knowing what Russ is and who Russ is and how cringy he is, let's see him go into the huddle and those guys say, all right, let's go, boss. Let's go. And first time he turns the ball over, what's it going to be? And the cameras go, they're going to know exactly where Justin Fields is. I promise you that. The cameras will. Tom,
I'm not super confident in either quarterback right now.
And that's why we're in this situation. Totally get it.
But I also don't think this is one where the offense is going to be like, oh my gosh. Because if you're George Pickens, you already hate your life. He's been pissed off the last 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Maybe he's the next guy to go to the Chiefs or something.
So any receiver is like, oh, let's give it a try. Let's see what happens for us.
Yeah. All right, 505-246-0610. JJ, when we get back, I hate this story, but we have to hit it. You're an emerging league. You've been around for a long time. You want to claim you're one of the big boys. You're a big league. The attention is on your league. Your ratings are up. People are watching you. You've arrived. Arriving does not always mean great things, and this is a disgusting sign that, yeah, maybe the WNBA has arrived as a big-time league in American sports landscape. We'll get into this because it's just the sickening side of fans. That's next. Hey, Halloween's coming. You got fall basically hitting you in the face today. There's going to be candy and kids and sweets and dirt and dust and maybe even snow soon. It's a mess for your car. On the Spot Automotive Detailing is there to take care of you and one of your biggest investments, your vehicle. They will come to you and they will detail your vehicle where it works for you and when it works for you. That means you don't take it to them. That means you don't have to go take it somewhere, drop it off, sit around, or go get a ride and come back. And while you're in the office, while you're in the house, they are in the parking lot or in the driveway. They are detailing your vehicle. They are the go-to for detailing. In fact, they were awarded Best in the City because they go above and beyond. They make your car look and feel and smell like brand new, like the day you took it off the lot. It's the treatment your car needs. It deserves it. It's not just detailing either. It's window tinting and paint protection. Talk to them about lifetime warranty for your vehicle as well. It's all online. I love On the Spot Automotive Detailing. It's one of my favorite things when I finally get around to say, all right, let me book and have them come out. Look at them online. It's otsdetailing.com. otsdetailing.com. Book and buy online. It's On the Spot Automotive Detailing.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro View. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com.
Five 505-246-0610 is how to get in today. 888-922-0610. So your boy Rod's already on too many Bulls. There's going to be a lack of Bowl-eligible teams. Problem is there are too few clubs. That's not the problem. There's too many Bulls. Don't watch them, Rod. Keep telling you. Well, what if you spend so much time on something you didn't like that just doesn't affect you? What would you? I mean, it'd be
That's
cool.
a lot of life, Jeff.
It'd be cool to have that much time.
A lot of life.
Yeah. All right. WNBA wanted to be big time. They want to be a big league sport. They're right. We're here, and there's been no bigger season than now. There have never been more eyes on the WNBA. No more attention to the WNBA. Bigger TV ratings. Like, okay, you decide if you think where you think the WNBA fits in the American sports landscape. It's been in whatever order: the NFL, the NBA, Major League Baseball, National Hockey League. Those have always been considered the big four. If you want to throw MLS in there, you can. I think college football is bigger than all but the NFL, right? And the ratings show that. And what's there? Where does the WNBA fit in? Nothing says you have arrived as a big-time sport like your players getting threats, like their families getting threats. And I was talking to someone about this yesterday. I said, well, who hadn't got a death threat that plays big-time sports? And I guess, yeah, so you've arrived. I don't know if this is from a bettor or a fan, but Breanna Stewart, 2-time MVP in the WNBA. She missed a big free throw in a playoff game the other day that could have sealed the playoff game. Her team ended up losing. She said yesterday that her and her wife received a threatening anti-gay email after they lost to the Lynx in game one. Quote, myself and my family were definitely doing okay. We're taking the proper precautions. I think that for Marta, her wife, especially, I think it was terrifying. All right. What are we doing? The WNBA security, and they're going to have to up their security to big league security now, right? I mean, they're going to have to get, I don't know what their system is. I mean, usually when NFL, something like this happens and a random email comes or pasted together, remember the old cutout of magazine letters that used to get sent? They'd be on it. But there's been an uptick, at least in reporting, and I don't know if there's an uptick in instances, and maybe there is. But the WNBA players and Dejanay Carrington, Angel Reese have said they've been on the receiving end of threatening messages. A lot of them have been racist and misogynistic and anti-gay in a league that certainly is not shy about their diversity, right? They promote it. JJ, I hear stuff like that. I mean, I don't know. Maybe this plays into there's too many bowls email, but I mean, why are you taking the time to threaten a player and her wife and her family? Is it because you lost a bet? Is that what it is? Is it because you just hate gay basketball players? You hate homosexuals? You hate her? Where are we going? And the fear is if you, I don't know what the stats are. Somebody would have to tell me this. If you care enough to make the threat, I wonder what the percentage is of those who are prepared to carry out the threats. You know what I'm saying? Is it just a scare tactic, or is it? But whatever it is, man, it is disgusting.
We've had this conversation for how long, Jeff?
Too long. No, too long.
The way it is.
So you've joined the big leagues now.
It's
right?
not joining the big leagues. It's you can send messages on social media, emails. People do it all the time. Most of them are just fools that aren't going to do anything. But there's always that chance. And so you brown a story. Things like that come along, yeah, you report it to security. Like, not everything is just let's just block this person on social media and move on. You do what you have to do, report it to whatever security you have as a team, and then they move it up the ladder. But, this stuff, it sucks, but it's like, to me, it's like, this isn't like, oh, you're the big leagues. It's just like just life in this era, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it kind of feels like, all right, well, now you've joined the big leagues and you get big league problems, right? And this is a part of that goes with it. I don't know what you're going to do about it.
I don't, and it's with anyone in the public eye at this point in time.
And that's where I was kind of going with this, right? I don't know where you're going, what you're going to do about it, because, and I don't know that you're going to get any more sympathy than a guy, an NBA player or a Major League Baseball player, who, or maybe you will because they're women, or maybe I don't know. Maybe you will. I don't know that I think this is a sympathy play. I think this is an awareness play on this, to get this out there and say, hey, this is happening. But we've heard that this is happening throughout this league early in the season, right? I mean, look, let's be very clear. The WNBA problems, if there's problems, and maybe these are growing pains, right? Or maybe they're not. Maybe they're just social pains. The problem this season, you had two dynamic rookies who came in the same class, who had a rivalry that carried over from college. Two very different personalities. A Midwest white girl and a Southern black girl, right? And it became racial. It just did. I mean, that you can argue with me, but I don't think you will, because I think you all agree. It became racial. You were an Angel Reese fan, or you were a Caitlin Clark fan, and why is the white girl getting all the attention and she's getting all the money? Well, with all due respect, she's the one that was bringing the fans to your game, and by the way, backed it all up. She ended up being Rookie of the Year, didn't she? Caitlin Clark. And the racial part of it surfaced, the homosexual part of it, the gay part of it, the anti-gay part of it, like the people, all the social issues, man. And it became more of a story. I mean, I don't know. Everybody could tell me what's going on with the the hate. How many people can tell you who's playing in the finals right now? Caitlin Clark's out. Do people care? Honestly.
That took a dip, but that's, show me any sport that doesn't have like must-watch television. The WNBA is trying to climb that ladder. They're always going to be behind certain sports. I think what they've done this year shows that there was a growth. Like, you had to have some foundation for anyone, even a couple years ago, to start caring about Caitlin Clark at Iowa and then to follow her to the WNBA.
I'm down with that. Yeah.
Again, I'm not... The ratings are going to go down when you lose your star player. And that's Caitlin Clark, because she was the crossover for the WNBA this year.
All right. I wanted to bring it up because it's there. If you want to comment on it, you can. Have you ever had the urge to send a threatening message, email, letter, whatever, to an athlete? What gets you there? I never have. I mean, look, you guys all, whatever team you are, whatever you followed, you've got a kicker, or you've got a goalie, or you've got a receiver who dropped the ball, or a pitcher who gave up a big home run, right? You've got that person who lives in the lore of your team, like, oh, that guy, right? But have you ever, like, said, I've got to send that person up, I'm going to threaten their family? I'm going to threaten their significant other, their kids? How do you get there, man? That's all I'm asking. That's sometimes my mind just can't get there. 505-246-0610. I'm just curious. I'd love your thoughts on it as we go through this thing. Aaron Judge showed up last night. Where's he been? Well, when you got him and Giancarlo hitting, they're going to be a tough team to beat. Baseball, Dodgers back at it tonight as well. Who's pitching for them and where do we go? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505 897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gala Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Meyer here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop.
I am Michael Ozera, midfielder for New Mexico United. Clark's support for the United is an example of their commitment to local partnerships. Clark's understands that paying it forward develops a better team and ultimately better community partner.
When you need pet food and supplies,
Clark's is always the best shot.
Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations.
Go United!
ClarksPets.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, rip, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
for New York. 1-1, they're back in Queens. It'll be chilly there tonight. 505-246-0610. Aaron Judge hit a 2-run home run into Monument Park yesterday. His first home run of the postseason. He had just 1 RBI in the playoffs. He had a sacrifice fly also in that game. He had 3 RBI. The Guardians had 2 errors, left 11 guys on base, left the bases loaded twice. Like, they're a hit away from being in that game, but meanwhile they're going back to Ohio and they're down 2-0. This feels like Yankees in 5, doesn't it?
It does.
They're just flexing their muscle. I mean, it's literally
missed opportunities for the Guardians. You look, team that had 5 All-Stars, has guys that have performed at a high level.
Yep.
You need the moment.
Yep. Well, you need to come through with a big hit with bases loaded. You can't pop the ball up and ground into double plays, and they left the bases loaded twice yesterday, stranded 11 runners. They got to within 3-2 in the 5th. Josh Naylor hit that sac fly. Bases loaded. Will Brendan grounds into the force out. They were 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position. 11 runners left on base. That's how you lose games. That's how you lose it. So you get the baseball tonight. You get a little Conference U.S. action tonight as well. 505-246-0610. You get Thursday night football. That'll be here on the Sports Animal on, well, let me tell you when that'll be. Thursday night. That'll be the Broncos and the Saints. 5:30 Thursday night. And then on Saturday, South Carolina, Oklahoma will start you off here on the Sports Animal, your day of college football. 1 o'clock over on News Radio KKOB, Lobos and Utah State. JJ will have the pregame show with Ned at 1, kickoff at 2. Texas and Georgia at 5. That is the game. That's this week's game of the year. Every week we got a game of the year. And then on Sunday, Patriots and Jaguars live from London with your tea and crumpets. Banger and Mash. That's at 7:15 in the morning. Eagles and Giants at 11. JJ will have Lobo women's basketball at 1:30 against New Mexico Highlands. Over on KTBL, we'll have Raiders and Rams. That's the game my brother was like, dude, you got to come out for the Raiders. Maybe I should. Should I go to LA this weekend and watch Raiders and Rams?
Doesn't sound too bad.
I mean, maybe. Everybody's gone this weekend. Jets and Steelers are the night game, and then Ravens and Buccaneers on Monday Night Football. 505-246-0610 is how to get here today. I got a bunch of emails for you. This one is on the text line. I agree there are too many bowl games. For input of how people get to their questionable level of type of behavior, you could watch the show Criminal Minds. Or maybe watch the Robert De Niro movie, The Fan. Okay, I always ask, so too many bowl games for what? For you? For the players? Don't watch them. That's why I was like, the players seem to love them. They have a great experience. The fans watch them. And by the way, it's the highest rated 3 weeks of the year on ESPN. Too many bowl games for you to care? Then you don't watch the WNBA either. Are there too many teams, too many games? But okay. More of my emails. Here we go. Aggies won, by the way, last night. 33-30 in double overtime. And Ken said that game had everything the OD loves, Jeff. Late post time, horrible officiating, empty gym, bad field goal kicking, and a team that crapped all over themselves. Yeah, they did have all of that. Yeah, they did. Started at 7:30. Officiating was okay.
Got an early bingo.
Yeah. Yeah, the place was not full. The field goal, the kicking was an adventure, dude. I mean, an adventure. And Louisiana Tech had the opportunity to win it right there at the end of regulation, and they were having problems with field goals all night. It was blocked by New Mexico State's Malachi Taase, and the Aggies win their first conference game of the season. Bourne says the OD has become show prep for the rest of the media. Jeff, I heard all the talking heads screaming about Jerry yesterday after that story first broke on this award-winning show. Dude, I don't know how. So he chased that. Jerry Jones did. And I know you've heard it by now. We played it for you yesterday, the meltdown that he had on 105.3 The Fan, going after the hosts and threatening their jobs and calling them, you geniuses. And I listened to it. He says, and you're not going to solve what's wrong with the Cowboys. No, I asked you how to solve it. Like, and your job is it? What is my job? No, I'm not kidding. I'll get someone to ask the questions. He chased that with an interview with Diana Rossini, basically doubling down, saying those guys don't know football and they're idiots, and it wasn't just an emotional hot guy. Look,
so here's where I was a little lost in trying to figure it out. Is he just doing this to do it? Are they paying for this segment? Because what are the expectations? Because
the radio. Why does he do the segment every week?
Is
that what you're saying?
Yeah, because I can get where he's frustrated if this is like he's paying for it, yada yada yada. But then they're trying to. I don't know why I just said that. But then if they're trying to say, hey, we're going to ask the tough questions, but he's expecting it to be a coach's show segment.
Look.
Because I think that plays into it.
JJ,
the Lobos coaches show is different than an opening drive.
That's why it was always tough for me to do that show. So what is fair? Like you just got beat 47-9 at home. You're 0-3 at home in 3 games that weren't. I mean, the Ravens score looks competitive, but it wasn't. If you go back to last year, your last 4 games, the Packers blew you out in the playoffs. You say we're all in. You say we're a Super Bowl contender. What is fair? Now, from the way I understand the arrangement is, it is the Cowboys flagship station. And the station, I don't know if they pay Jerry, and if they pay him, it's money he doesn't know he has. Right? I mean, what are they paying him to come on? He loves the publicity. It's marketing for his brand and his Cowboys brand, right? He's the only GM or owner who has his own segment weekly. Like, nobody else does this. It's him. So he does it for ego, for branding, for marketing. The way I understand is the radio station pays a little extra money to the Cowboys as part of their deal to have him come on. JJ, even if it's a coaching show, you've done these. If a team's losing, you can only sugarcoat it so much.
I think if the radio station is paying for it, then it's fair to have a different line of questioning, because there's different expectations with different shows.
All right, so take me through, because what you're saying isn't unfair. So it's Lobo Talk, and they're 0-7, and they just got blued out again. And
you phrase questions differently.
But what is fair to ask? Can you not ask about? You do it every week, man. You can only ask the same question so many times. And so these guys got into the off season and asked some questions about contracts and construction.
It wasn't a bad question, but no. I think just Jerry Jones, his outward frustration is even more so now than ever, because as much as he talked about the playoff loss to the Packers, and that's why he said that's a reason that he waited so long on the extensions, of why Mike McCarthy doesn't have a job, and then just you add this on top,
he doesn't have a contract.
or a contract extension, excuse me, and then the how dare you question me? That's Jerry Jones' frustration. That specific question, regardless if it was regular interview X after a game or coach show, wasn't a bad one. Of what did you not address in the offseason, or what would you address moving forward?
A wounded dog barks, man. It does. What do you want me to do here? You want me to go? I got to take a break. All right, if you're on the phone, you're up right when we get back. 505-246-0610. Wounded dogs bark, though. That's what they do. And boy, did he bark. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom. Boom.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Spout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
What's going on?
Who are you guys?
Well, sir, I'm going to pick you up at the DWI checkpoint for drunk driving.
And that's when I have to come down to get you out of jail.
Well, temporarily. I'm Judge Torres.
They call him the Hammer. Hey, hot off the presses, champ.
I'm real proud of you, honey.
Way to make him happy back home, Captain.
Who's that?
That's your new buddy in jail.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All In Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come.
All right, we're going to give away Social Distortion tickets coming up at 9:10. 2 tickets to go see Social D out at the Rio Rancho Event Center next Tuesday. The number is 505-246-0610, and you can get in on that here in a little bit. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. Let's go to it. Edward, thanks for holding. You're on the Sports Animal. Good day, sir.
Good day, gentlemen. Social Distortion tickets?
Yeah.
You can go to any corner of Albuquerque on the streets and see Social Distortion.
Yeah, but not this one. This is actually this. I saw Social D back in the day, and actually I want to go see him next week if I can win the tickets.
Albuquerque is a fine city.
Yep.
I'm glad to be part of it. Hey, this is very Jeff. JJ's not in our demographic, and he's got a fine understanding of the history of the NFL. We've seen this movie before with Jerry Jones, and his name was Al Davis. And the Raiders, who were very successful in the 70s, like they had, won a couple of Super Bowls, and Mr. Davis was a great owner, great for the NFL, historic franchise, and then they dribbled off into, irrelevance. And towards the end, his awareness, Mr. Davis's awareness or lack thereof, and his hubris, right, was astounding. And Jerry is following the playbook. I believe that Jerry Jones has been a great owner. He's been great for the NFL. So since he bought the Cowboys, and it was a steal, he got the stadium and the Cowboys for, I forget the amount, but now it's worth $10 billion plus.
Right. I think he paid $100 million or something like that. Yeah.
$160 million, I believe.
Yeah, I think that's right.
In their 40-year, however long he's owned the team, in my humble opinion, he had a great 5-year run from 91 to 96. Since then, they've been competitive, and they've been America's darling with ratings. At no point during post-1996 have I felt they've been anywhere near the threat of winning a championship.
No.
They've had some good years. They finished with a number 1 seed a couple of times, but I never took a step back and said, this team's a serious threat to win the Super Bowl. Now, when he's being interviewed, I can see from his perspective as an 82-year-old man, why are you challenging me? Look at my body of work. Look what I've done for the NFL. Look what I've done for this organization. Who are you? But therein lies the reinforcement of my idea that his lack of awareness, his hubris, it's not good. And let me tell Cowboy fans, I called last week and I said the Cowboys have absolutely no chance of winning the Super Bowl, and I think it's very evident now. There's a lower bottom for this team. They are saddled with some bad contracts. They are saddled with a bad roster. They don't do hardly anything well. When your best player is a great Hall of Fame offensive lineman, Zach Martin, he's been their best player for a decade, undoubtedly. And your kicker is probably your second best player. They're going to give Micah Parsons a contract, which will be saddled with another bad contract. And I'm just letting Cowboy fans know I'm not rooting against you. I'm not trying to be a jerk. There's a further bottom. And that's where you're headed. So, I don't know. Just my thoughts.
Yeah, I don't
good
think
for New
you're
Mexico State. Sorry, Jeff.
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong.
Good for New Mexico State and good for the Lobos. I think that there's good things happening in the state with regards to football. So, have a great day.
Yeah. Look, JJ, remember in July and August, I asked you the question, better chance Cowboys go to the NFC Championship game or miss the playoffs? Right? I was
miss the playoffs.
Absolutely on miss the playoffs back then. And I don't even think it's arguable now, right? I mean, the answer is miss the playoffs. Now, I don't know that they're absolutely going to miss the playoffs. Look, they can get in. Can they turn this around? Sure. I don't know why I see a lot of optimism other than they're good against the teams that aren't very good. And I look at right now, we did this with the AFC. If you tell me you think Philadelphia and I think Minnesota and Detroit are in, and probably Green Bay, that leaves one wild card. Whoever wins the South, the Niners are in. I mean, it's a mishmash. You're 3-3. You got 3 wins, just like Philadelphia does, just like Seattle does. I mean, teams with 4 wins right now: Tampa Bay, Atlanta, Green Bay, Detroit. Minnesota's got 5. Washington's got 4. You're right in the mishmash. So why do I think they've got an opportunity? I mean, look at the schedule they got coming up, dude. They're getting their asses kicked at home. They got to go to San Francisco and Atlanta next before coming home for the Eagles, Texans, and go see the Commanders. That's what they're up against next. Yeah, Jerry's cranky. Hell yes, he is.
Because he handed out checks, he's not getting the return on it.
And you almost feel like he was forced into it, although he'll tell you, I don't get forced into anything.
I still don't think signing Dak Prescott or CeeDee Lamb are bad decisions.
Okay.
They're looking at the foundation that's not there right now.
But now you can't go doing much else. Well, I couldn't afford Derrick Henry. We wanted him, but I couldn't afford him. You geniuses. I'm going to talk into this damn radio. To you yahoos. I'll get someone else to ask the questions. 505-246-0610. Keep them coming. Tom Brady's going to be a Raiders owner. San Jose State is coming to play volleyball tomorrow. Probably need to get into that a little bit as well. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 630 Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. Our law firm was founded by my father, Thibaut J. Chavez, with one goal: to get New Mexicans the help they need. That's why we built a different kind of law firm. We focus on family values, dedicated service, and we make a real contribution by giving back to our communities. We can't change what happened to you or your loved ones, but we can help you get back on the road to recovery. We're by your side, and we're still as local as red and green.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gala Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
That's Florida International University. 2 weeks from yesterday, back on CUS Action. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck open for business at 505-246-0610. Emails come in at Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com and JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. Text line says, I told you in July the Cowboys would not win 10 games this year and that Dak would have his worst year as a pro this year. Okay? A lot of people said that. But yeah, I don't doubt you did. Emails. People watched that game last night. Glenn said it was just so frustrating, Jeff. The refs need to show a little greater sense of urgency to move these games along. We don't need 15-minute reviews. And how about running to the monitor and not taking a leisurely stroll? Dude, it was like 11 o'clock at night. Dude was tired. The end of that game, if you guys watched Monday Night Football and the end of the Jets-Bills game 2 days ago, this was not dissimilar to that. It was review after review after delay after delay after what are we doing after what are we doing. I mean, seriously. Bruce said, have we talked about last night? Yeah, we have. Jeff, I was watching that game with... Bruce has fans everywhere. He was watching the game with some Louisiana Tech fans. And they are sick. Smooth Jerry had the Bulldogs in his bracket, but beating Tony the Tiger was a must. Where are 4 more wins coming from now for Sonny Cumbie's guys? Louisiana Tech still has to play Arkansas. Yeah, probably not. Yeah, that was a must-win for Tech, too. Tough one. Tough one last night. Can I vent, Jeffy? Says Ron. Sure you can, Ron. That's what we're here for. New Mexico is the only place I've ever lived that doesn't have seasons. It's hot or cold. In the last week, we've gone from 90s to 80s to 70s and 60s, and this weekend 50s. Yeah. Yeah. What are you, new? That's how it is, Ron. Welcome to the land of enchantment. That's how it is. All right, 505-246-0610. JJ, I can't stop looking at the fantasy stuff now. I'm like so confused. I'm gonna think myself into more losses.
That's fantasy.
Yeah.
You get so much information, articles, stories, rankings, and when it all comes down to it, you still are making the best guess with what you have available.
Totally. Of all the trades yesterday, Amari Cooper, I think, is the most impactful, will end up being the most impactful but competitively by the time the season ends. I mean, obviously, Devontae Adams to the Jets is good. It makes the Jets better. I just think the Jets are going to go on a win streak anyway. I think their schedule dictates that they're better than a lot of the teams that they play here in the next 5 games. I think they go on a run. I think Amari Cooper goes to a really good team and fills the need. It kind of, I don't want to say the one need, but certainly the biggest deficiency that Buffalo had was a go-to number one receiver for Josh Allen, right? Is that fair? Their defense is playing a lot better than when we thought they were. They got a dynamic quarterback, good line. They run the ball well. They didn't have a number one.
Well, they didn't have a vertical threat. And, Amari Cooper brings that. Khalil Shakir, when he was healthy, he was playing well. And the offense, the way it's been designed with Joe Brady, is they're not focusing in on one specific wide receiver. We saw that's in last year. Like, Stephon Diggs was on the field, but he wasn't putting up big-time numbers. So it's not necessarily about needing to have a guy or throwing the football to 15 times. It's the element that they didn't have with any of their receivers. Kincaid, Shakir, they're winning underneath. Coleman is a big physical guy, but he's still a rookie wide receiver that wasn't getting a lot of traction, and I think everyone was expecting a lot more just because of the hype in the offense and the opportunity. And so they had a lot of the same guys running the same route tree. And Amari Cooper allows you to open it up. So I don't think this is just simply, they needed a guy to throw 12 targets to directly. No, he gives Josh Allen a vertical option, which is going to make Shakir and Kincaid that much more effective, and they've been good this season.
Cam Akers to the Vikings from the Texans. Does that ring your bell at all, or is that just moving pieces around? You need depth. Okay.
I do think it alerts me a little bit more is, do they think that Aaron Jones is more week to week as opposed to being able to come right back after the bye? That's where that would put me. But Ty Chandler still is the next man up there. And so that move is you're bringing in an RB3 for depth as opposed to, Cam Akers just going to become a difference maker, though they just wanted someone they trust that's been there, that knows the system, if Aaron Jones has to miss a game or two.
All right. Solely for your fantasy deal, Brandon McManus has a job again.
Yes, he does.
The former Broncos kicker has been signed to a 1-year deal by the Green Bay Packers, who score a lot of points. He's expected to kick in Sunday's game against Houston. Packers used Braden Naverson in the first 6 games of the season. They had 6 other kickers on their roster since the end of last year. Like, what are we? It's like your fantasy team. Like, you're changing out kickers every week, right? Honestly, if you're one of those dudes, and I tend to be, change out kickers and defense every week. They kept one on the practice squad, but the rookie Naverson was claimed off waivers. Has missed a league high 5 field goals attempt, so he is out of a job. And they had Greg Joseph, and they had Anders Carlson and James. I mean, a bunch of guys. Jack Podlesny. So Brandon McMahon, who, by the way, is a New Mexico Bowl alum. He's got it. So there's another New Mexico Bowl alum back in the league.
Yeah, well, they had to wait for his issues to get cleared up. That's why he didn't have a job at Jacksonville anymore.
He's back.
The allegations of him on the flight with some flight attendants.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what you need, is your kicker being your problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we need that. So the former Temple kicker is back in the league. And then the owners approved, because, at the Genius meeting that they went to, that Jerry Jones was at, the Genius meeting, that radio hosts are.
Yeah, they said my invite got lost in the mail. So I'm waiting for next year.
I mean, that's my favorite part of Jerry's rant yesterday. If y'all are you and 5 or 10 other like you are such geniuses, you should go to the meeting I'm going to with the 32 teams. Because all those guys are, now look, most of those guys are pretty smart dudes. They made a lot of money. You got to be pretty smart to make a bunch of money, don't you? I mean, to that sort of wealth. So they're all geniuses. If y'all are genius, 5 or 10 others like you, come to the Genius meeting with us geniuses. So at the Genius meeting, the owners approved Tom Brady's purchase of the minority share of the Raiders. He called it, quote, a blessing to know I'll be involved in the greatest league in the world for the rest of my life. Throughout my NFL career, I've learned that at its core, football is a game of teamwork, resilience, and relentless pursuit of excellence. The Raiders franchise in the city of Las Vegas embody these same values. And I'm honored to become part of that story. That was a damn Hallmark card. It was. Thank you, Tommy. So that's what they did at the Genius meeting yesterday. Tony, were you invited? You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Tony.
It sounded like you said pursuit of excellence with the Raiders.
Yeah, that's exactly. No, but I read it. That's what their new owner said.
I love when you guys mix comedy with sports. I love that. I love it. But anyway, let me throw something out to you. If the Cowgirls were to trade Dak, realistically, what could those folks down there get for him?
So JJ, let's say hypothetically a team that thinks they're a quarterback away wanted to take on his contract. I don't even know who that would be. Let's just say give me a team that you think would be in that realm. First because it wouldn't be like an exorbitant. It wouldn't be a Herschel Walker deal because you got to take on the price of paying him.
Yeah. Well, Dallas probably have to eat some of that contract too, though.
You would try to get him to do that, right?
Yeah. But what realistically could they get for him?
I don't even know, man. Like a first and a third, maybe.
Okay. Don't you think? I mean, I was talking to a buddy of mine who happens to be a Cowboy fan. Why he's a buddy of mine, I have no idea. But he had told me that he would have loved for them to have not signed Dak.
I'm with you.
And maybe gotten somebody like a Kirk Cousins and use that money for Dak for something else. Which, just imagine Kirk Cousins there.
No, but he just signed
for a couple of years.
Yeah,
draft a replacement or something. But that's way too much money for Dak. And look at me. The more money Dallas can spend on players like that, the better. It makes it funnier every Sunday. Or I'm sorry, not every Sunday. Makes it funny every postseason, because it's funny in the postseason.
It is.
But just imagine a Kirk Cousins there, and then being able to use some of that money and get CeeDee Lamb some decent help, and not Brandon Cooks. Come on, man.
No, he's done. Jalen Tolbert. Yeah. No, I get it. It's an interesting concept. I just don't know who would be in that market at this point. Now in the off season, you could have that conversation, but again, you're probably not moving him. I mean, he's yours for the next 4 years.
Kirk Cousins would be in the same spot as Dak Prescott.
How much is Kirk Cousins making?
He's got like $180 million guaranteed.
Over
it
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But and it's sad, but it looks like we're headed to a Yankee Dodger World Series. Man.
That's all right though.
Two of the teams that I hate the most, but
it's better than Yankees Mets, man. Way better than Yankees Mets. All right, see you
guys. Take it easy. Have a great day.
It's an interesting concept. I don't know who that team would be.
Dude, that team's not better with Kirk Cousins at quarterback. It's the same exact football.
No, but what he's saying is, would you have more money to spend elsewhere? Right? So you'd be the same exact football team, but would you have money to spend on an offensive line, or would you on a running game, or on some help, is what he's saying. Instead of committing all that money. And I don't know that I think Kirk Cousins is making way less money.
It's a quarterback in the NFL. It's not committing all that money. Every other team is doing it. They didn't go after other players aggressively, and they're trying to make excuses for it.
I think that's the reality of it. Because I don't know that even if
Dak Prescott, you put him in Atlanta, then you're like, oh, they're going to win the division, just like Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins on this roster, yes, they are.
Okay.
What is?
No, they're the same guy. I'm not arguing with that.
They're not. The Cowboys are not better with a different quarterback right now.
Well, it depends.
Maybe Patrick Mahomes, but Joe Burrow.
And I don't see the team that he's talking about that thinks that they're just a quarterback away right now that would go out and do that. I just don't. Is it Miami? Miami or Seattle?
Like the Cowboys are disappointing. Their problem isn't because Dak Prescott has a quarterback contract in the NFL.
I think that's all right. It's interesting though. But look,
Lamar Jackson makes more money, or was before the contract extension, than Dak Prescott, and they signed Derrick Henry.
Yeah, and they found a way to do it.
How do we want to blame everything on Dak Prescott's contract?
No, you damn yahoos and geniuses. I'm not going to talk into this radio and explain to you what I did wrong and not talk about what's right. It's interesting, though. 5052, it goes back to the core of it. the core of it is there's many Cowboy fan who at the time, not just going back retroactively, said at the time they didn't think that the Cowboys should sign Dak. And the question was always, all right, then what's your plan? You're going to lose Dak at the end of the year. He's going to go make $60 million somewhere else. What is your plan if you let Dak go? That's, to me, the core of that conversation.
I understand it's talking, it's what we do, but sometimes there's not even a point to have a conversation. Like, the contract hasn't even kicked in, and you're going to be like, oh, let's trade Dak Prescott?
No, you're not trading him now. I mean, I don't know who's going to take that whole deal on. And
it's not even a good move to trade Dak Prescott. He's 31 years old.
If you don't,
the contracts are only going to get bigger and bigger at the quarterback position, and you're going to trade him for what to get a pick that you're going to have to package to move up to get one of those quarterbacks in the draft.
Right? Yeah. That's why there was nowhere else to go, and that's why they signed him, because there was nowhere else to go. What was the plan for those who? And look, I'm with Tony. I don't think he's worth that money, but market wise, market value, that's where he's slotted. I don't think he's the guy that's going to get you over the top. I just don't.
Well, then there's only 3 quarterbacks you're ever going to think that in the NFL. Like, at some point, you're going to have to pay good quarterback money, and the good quarterback contract has a lot more money than any position has ever.
I understand that, and there's only so many Nick Foles in the world that are going to win you Super Bowls. I understand that. You're not wrong, and that's why I knew they were going to sign him. I knew they had nowhere to go, and there was no plan.
Well, the plan was you have a quarterback that wins games. And at some point in time, when you have that contract locked in, that's when you're supposed to be able to figure out the rest of your roster.
And you weren't.
That's a Jerry Jones mistake. That's not
necessarily. Don't tell him what he did wrong.
Well, he can call. I would love him to call up. I'd love to have Jerry Jones on the show. But sometimes we get lost in the fact that, like, a quarterback is paid more money than everyone else. Does it always equal?
Period. Just period.
Just period.
Just period.
But that doesn't mean, like, you can just go to the next rookie and compete, or you can just move on. Like, you have to pay for good sometimes, even if it feels like great money.
All right. I know I got to take this break, and I know I got to give away these tickets. Caller number. So if you're on the phone, stay there. We'll catch you as soon as we get back. Caller number what? 3? Caller 3 right now. 505-246-0610. Caller 3, you win a pair of tickets to go see Social Distortion on Tuesday at the Rio Rancho Event Center, courtesy of your friend JJ Buck at 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Kevin Kugler here from Westwood One. Join Ryan Harrison.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off.
The Broncos lose their asses off and the Cowboys lose their asses off. Those Washington Commanders look really good.
Yeah, they do. You know, the Cowboys don't get them up this Thanksgiving weekend or the weekend before Thanksgiving and then the last game of the year.
Yeah, and I grew up watching the Lions. You know how you do the Thanksgiving when you go to your mom and dad's and your grandpa's and all that?
And watch the Lions?
Yeah, Lions are kicking the butt out of those Cowboys.
Yeah, they did. 47-9.
Oh, my goodness. That was beautiful for me.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, Danny. Don't be a stranger, man. Thanks for the call. You get them against the Giants on Thanksgiving Day. Lions and Giants and Bears. Oh, my. Lions and Giants and Bears. Oh my. All right, 505-246-0610 if you want to get in. Omar says, what was the plan, Jeff? 2020 was an ugly year, including the response Omar got from Micah, J.J. Buck, Howard, and others when I suggested my former team lock Andy Dalton down for $3 million and use all the other big money they're paying their current quarterback to build depth. Amari Cooper might still be wearing the star. I truly believe Omar would still be on Dallas Cowboys bandwagon and the team would be competing for championships right now if Andy Dalton was your quarterback. So he said go with Andy Dalton back in the day. And he did. I recall. Dave is in. He says on the Cowboys, Prescott's contract isn't the only problem, but it certainly is part of the problem. Their D-line sucks. They get run over through and around. He's good enough to win regular season games, but he's not a star. Make the team better. He's not a star. Make the team better quarterback. He shrinks under pressure, and that's never more evident than when the playoffs roll around. He makes the worst decisions at the worst times under pressure, and the evidence is crystal clear over the 8 years. He would do the same with a team like Atlanta, JJ's example. The real problem is the owner GM. After 35 years in the NFL, he still doesn't have a clue how to build a championship roster. And don't give him credit for the 90s other than he wrote checks when Jimmy Johnson put deals together. The O and D line need to be revamped, and he's giving all that money to a couple of guys. Stupid. It's from Dave. Dave, he's a genius. He went to the genius meeting yesterday. All those Mensahs got together in one room when they approved Tom Brady. He said, you didn't get invited to the genius meeting. All the rest of us yahoos. We're talking to this radio, and I'm going to tell you what we did wrong and what we did right. Well, tell me what's right, and I'll find someone else to ask me them questions.
Are the Seahawks going to win the Super Bowl?
Ever?
No, should the Seahawks be favorites? Are the Giants favorites?
You talk about their quarterback strategy?
Mm-hmm.
No, neither one of them are favorites. No.
But this is the way people are talking. Those teams should be loaded, right? They should be able to sign every free agent.
Because they didn't spend all their money on their quarterback. They
only had to spend $100 million plus. On
and so, like Omar said, if you just signed Andy Dalton, you'd be good because you'd have gone.
Like, there's not a set in stone strategy with this. Like, good quarterbacks are going to end up making great money, and you have to deal with
marginal quarterbacks are going to make great money.
There's some really good stories in the NFL right now with Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield. But just because you only sign a quarterback to $140 million, like, there's a lot of moving pieces. You're not going to sign every free agent, and teams aren't built through free agency. This goes back to the draft. And the Cowboys have put together a small team through the draft, not just not having money to sign Derrick Henry. And if they had Derrick Henry, are they a 4-win team? Are they their deficiencies aren't the fact they don't have Derrick Henry.
505-246-0610. Howard, that's your club. How you feeling about them all? What's up, Howie?
Yeah, I'm not doing so well. I'm a Cowboy fan, you know?
I do. I do.
I was screaming from the rafters about a year and a half ago for Dallas to trade Dak Prescott and roll the dice with Cooper Rush and then quite possibly find a quarterback in the draft. There's been a lot of quarterbacks in the draft and start over. I thoroughly believe Dak was not the guy to build the team on, and I still believe that. Although deficiencies are heavy on the defensive side of the ball. Poor Mike Zimmer, he looks like a scared deer in the headlights, doesn't he?
Yep. You got them players, man. It's about the Jimmies and Joes, not the X's and O's.
Yeah, and our resident genius, Jerry Jones, is the one that let Jimmy Johnson walk out the door. Thanks for taking my call, guys.
It was 30 years ago, man. Thanks, Howie. I mean, honestly. But what have they been since, right? Barry Switzer came in and won a Super Bowl. But yeah, it was like 30 years ago, man. There's no easy way to do this. How many teams have won the Super Bowl over the last, how many years? It's been the Chiefs. The Rams won one.
Talking Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, Matthew Stafford.
Over the last, 8 years?
And yeah, everyone's like, yeah, pay Andy Dalton no money. Oh, yeah, Geno Smith, Daniel Jones, they're not on big contracts. Like, that's not the way the league works, y'all. I understand the frustration as Cowboy fans and thinking Dak Prescott's not worth it, but paying a quarterback money is just something you have to figure out.
It's the cost of doing business.
Yeah.
And
if you had Cooper Rush, you're magically going to be able to sign every defensive free agent out there? No.
By the way, if Cooper Rush was that dude, he'd be that dude. Don't you think like he'd have gone somewhere? Somebody would have seen it in Cooper Rush, and when his deal was up, they'd have paid Cooper Rush to get out of there and come be our guy. Come be our Sam Darnold.
No, I'm with you in the negotiations. Like, if you have a good quarterback, but you don't believe, you don't have to give him $240 million. You can then go in the draft and say, hey, we'll take our chances.
You're finding quarterbacks deeper in the draft now. You are. You are.
Who?
Well, Bo Nix was what, 12?
Dude, Bo Nix has done nothing.
Bo Nix.
The only reason
Bo Nix has played six freaking games.
It's because he's 24 years old and played 6 games.
He's played 6 games. I mean, you're right. He hasn't done anything. Nor is Caleb Williams yet. But they played 6 games. I mean, the conversation's for 2 years from now, right? But Spencer Rattler played 1 game. Like, Brock Purdy is an anomaly. Tom Brady's an anomaly. Does the quarterback have to come in the top 3 picks of the draft?
Does it have to? No.
Do they only? I mean, all right. Buffalo's is 7th. Miami's is top. New England's top. New York's is top. Baltimore's the last pick of the first round. Cincinnati's is top. Deshaun Watson was middle of the first round.
Josh was 12.
It's kind of middle. I mean, that's
10,
kind of
12.
It's kind of middle, right? Pittsburgh, I don't even know who their quarterback is, but he's going to be a 3rd round pick by Sunday.
Yeah.
Right? Houston's was top. Indianapolis was top. Jacksonville was top. Tennessee's 2nd round. Denver's the middle. Kansas City's middle. Raiders don't have one. Chargers was top. Cardinals was top. Rams was top. Niners was last. Seahawks was 2nd round. I mean, so, yeah, most of them are at the top. Yeah, fair enough. Jordan Love was late. 1st round, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, 505-246-0610. We'll continue. And you guys are in on this. Cowboy fan, I get it. You're frustrated. So the answer would be what? And, I mean, you can play Genius here on the radio. I know you're not invited to the Genius meeting.
Absolutely, we can play Genius.
Yeah.
100%.
Play Genius on the radio with Yahoos. It's okay. Hey, if you're playing Party Planner, if you're the person who is in charge of finding the venue for your holiday party, you got an event, a gala, a convention, a reception, may I strongly suggest checking out the Albuquerque Convention Center. They have over 600,000 square feet, a beautiful, versatile meeting space, indoor and outdoor in downtown Albuquerque. Easy to get to with a parking structure adjacent to the property. Beautiful art lines all the hallways. Their food and beverage is spectacular. Their staff goes above and beyond. The menu is vast. It's everything you want. It'll make your dream event a reality. There's diverse layouts to fulfill every planner's desire, with exterior and interior walls decorated by local art pieces, delectable food and beverage options, and located in the historic downtown area. Your event will be the one everybody wants to be at. It is sure to satisfy everybody who's there. Take care of this. I know it's getting to that point now where you're thinking about and have to make a call. Where am I having my holiday party? It's the Albuquerque Convention Center. Go online and visit them at albuquerquecc.com. We hold an event there every year for Isleta New Mexico Bowl. Why? They take care of our guests. They go above and beyond. Call them and book now, 505-768-4575. 505-768-4575.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. Our law firm was founded by my father, Thibaut J. Chavez, with one goal: to get New Mexicans the help they need. That's why we built a different kind of law firm. We focus on family values, dedicated service, and we make a real contribution by giving back to our communities. We can't change what happened to you or your loved ones, but we can help you get back on the road to recovery. We're by your side, and we're still as local as red and green.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
From From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico.
At all. Jaguars make opposing quarterbacks look very, very good.
Kind of do, right? Thinking about it.
I might be playing Drake May this week.
Really?
They could be playing from behind even against your Jaguars. Looking at maybe 30, 40 rushing yards, get that. They push the football downfield. It's about winning the week, man. Fantasy football is about winning the week. Not talking about a long-term future with that. Just about winning the week.
Okay. David is in on quarterback salaries. He said, how many of those quarterbacks that are the highest paid guys in the league have won any Super Bowls? Brady was never the highest paid guy. Mahomes never, at least not yet, right? They used the extra money to build and keep great players throughout the roster, mostly on the O&D lines. They were amongst the highest paid. You're right. They were probably, none of those guys when they won, I don't think were the top guy. But they sure as hell weren't Andy Dalton, as somebody suggested, give him $3 million. Like, they were amongst the highest paid guys in the league the whole time that they were winning and continue to win, right? I mean, Mahomes ain't a pauper.
They weren't
now.
making rookie quarterback money their entire contract. Did they shave some off the top? Did Tom Brady shave some off the top, convert stuff to signing bonuses? Yeah, but he was far from like the cheapest quarterback in the league.
Right.
Yeah. So with the way we're talking about Dak Prescott right now, like his contract is just this albatross, and they can never sign.
That's because the owner's talking that way. Essentially, the owner's saying,
and Jerry Jones
we
is
couldn't
wrong.
afford to go get Derrick Henry."
And Jerry Jones, at this, we all know why the Cowboys are in this situation. It's because of the owner. I'm specifically talking about Dak Prescott, the football player.
Mm-hmm.
With the way that Jerry's talking about it, the fans are reacting that exact way with these comments. His value, his total value of his contract, where do you think it sits then?
Whose
amongst
contract?
Dak Prescott, amongst quarterbacks.
Third?
He's 8th.
Really? Just total guaranteed or total value?
Just the
or
value of the contract overall.
All
He's
right.
8th.
And some would argue that's
Fine.
where he belongs. Some would argue that's high.
For quarterbacks, that's fine.
What,
Like
so
there's so the
what's the order of the values? Is it Love number one?
let's see here.
Like you're talking total potential value. If they this isn't guaranteed money. This is 5 years for 200
Now it's
million
the
thousand
average
hundred
salary. Dak Prescott's number 1.
average salary, which is over $60 million a year.
Or sits at 60.
Yeah.
But the value of the contract, he's 8th.
I guess you can claim this. I mean, so what's
Right.
the real number, right? Is it annual? Is
what-
it
yeah.
overall value? What's the number that matters? Because I'm not even sure I know anymore.
And he's 6th in guaranteed money at signing.
Who's first?
Deshaun Watson, of course. He's always going to be first. Because he got $230 million, and every single penny is guaranteed.
God help us. That's pretty weird. I go to David's point on that. That's helping you. All right, who's next? Was it Jordan Love next?
Joe Burrow.
Okay, Kyler's up there too, isn't he?
Kyler Murray's 9th.
Okay. So one
guaranteed money.
So this is guaranteed
money
money
regardless.
Well, all right, pick a metric. Which one do you think is the most determinative, if that's even a word? So which one is like the contract that is the most effective to your roster? Is it annual salary? Is it most guaranteed money? Is it most overall money? Which?
Because all these
how do you want me to read this?
all these formulas then come into what I will have the conversation about, which I was getting to, is percent of the cap at signing.
Okay.
So that's what you're looking at.
So let's have that conversation. Who's
so
number
then,
one?
Number one's Joe Burrow.
Okay.
Number two is Josh Allen,
Mm-hmm.
which you feel fine about
Mm-hmm.
paying those contracts. And then this is where we get in the conversation and can have the real discussion.
So this is percentage of your cap at signing.
Is Dak Prescott.
Okay.
Is number 3.
Well, I mean, that feels like a problem. Where's Deshaun Watson on that?
But at some point, it's... Well, I guess I'm frustrated because we're throwing away good quarterbacks for what? For a rookie that you think is going to be good in a couple years? You think Bo Nix is going to be good just because he's a rookie, not because he's done anything on the field. Like, he has some of the worst metrics in football this year.
Hmm?
But he's a rookie, so we're giving him time.
I'm not saying for him necessarily. And I guess, this is where, what do you do? It's so easy to sit here and scream. But if you're a GM, you have to pay market value for a quarterback. And when a quarterback ascends to that level and it's time for the next contract, you have to pay market value. And this is what market value is. And the next guy always gets paid more. Now, I threw out numbers at you. Instead of $60 million a year, I thought, Dak was worth in the $48 to $52 million a year range, market value-wise. Did you have to give him $60 million a year? I don't know. Maybe he wouldn't have signed the other one. And then you're a bit afraid he gets away and you're back in that situation that you're talking about. I don't know what the answer is. Text line says the problem with Jerry Jones is he still thinks he's living in the 90s, where he also thought he was responsible for all the Super Bowls. When Jimmy Johnson left and Barry Switzer won a Super Bowl, it was done with an existing team that was running on autopilot. So that furthered Jerry's belief that he was the mastermind. As an owner, Jerry Jones has arguably done less with more talent than any other owner in the league since the 90s. The Dallas curse is real, and they will not win another Super Bowl with Jones as the owner. At this point, Jones is the rooster taking credit for the sunrise. It's from Jeffrey. This one says, Seattle played Detroit already this year, and they looked a lot better than Dallas did when they played Detroit. Geno threw for 400 yards, and Seattle was in the game most of the time. Dak Prescott is not good. Stares down his receivers, not accurate. Weak arm, chokes under pressure. Jerry Jones is past his prime and doesn't have the energy to put together a top team. No way Ezekiel Elliott should be playing. The coaching staff is old-fashioned, no motion, no innovation. This team will be bad for a long time unless the defense can get healthy and keep them in games. Dak Prescott guaranteed money is $1 million higher than Deshaun Watson. He's the number one in average salary and guaranteed money. His contract is an albatross. It's on the text line.
What about Geno Smith against the Giants, man? You want to pick and choose all you can pick and choose all you want.
You always can. You always can.
But at some point, there's never going to be a chance to compete in this league if you don't think that you can make a good quarterback do great things.
It's gambling, man. Sometimes it hits, sometimes it doesn't. Pay your guy, don't pay your guy. What's going to happen? Is he going to be great somewhere else?
Yeah, and I also saw Geno Smith throw terrible passes. Lose a Giants game.
Yeah, that Giants game they lost up at their place. Yeah. That was a horrible loss. Geno was bad that day. Oh.
Now the stuff on the offense, I agree with. Motion is a big thing. Play design.
Ain't gonna change because you geniuses. I'm talking to this radio, and you geniuses are gonna tell me what's wrong with the Cowboys, and you gonna fix it.
So the practical guarantee is $231 million about Dak Prescott, but all that stuff is when you cut him, bonuses, etc.
I mean, none of us can fathom it anyway. Doesn't matter. Wrap it up when we get back. Everything you got to know as you go through your Wednesday. It's the opening drive. Jefferson Bieta, JJ Buck on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. Our law firm was founded by my father, Thibaut J. Chavez, with one goal: to get New Mexicans the help they need. That's why we built a different kind of law firm. We focus on family values, dedicated service, and we make a real contribution by giving back to our communities. We can't change what happened to you or your loved ones, but we can help you get back on the road to recovery. We're by your side, and we're still as local as red and green.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech.
App in the Google Play or iTunes App Store. Just search KNML.
Getting you home on a Wednesday, or at least getting you to work or getting your lunch or wherever it is you're going next. Our staff just put this together, JJ. Prescott's record is 24-4 against the Giants and Washington. He's slightly over 500 against the rest of the league, and far below 500 against teams that make the playoffs that year. That's over 8 years of data for you. We should probably put Edward on our staff. I think he already is, right? So whatever that means
I think
to
this
you.
is more a Cowboys issue than Dak Prescott issue. Because I look at Dak, and whatever, if you don't think he's, a top 5 money-wise quarterback, okay. Let's just say, next year, Sean McVay still has Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua, and Dak Prescott's quarterback. How are you feeling about your team? Think it's fallen off the face of the earth?
No.
But Matthew Stafford in Detroit had all those years of poor records, not beating anybody.
And he had
And
Calvin.
goes-
Well, who was his best receivers?
He had Calvin Johnson.
He did. That's C.D. Lamb,
Doesn't
right?
win-
That's
that
C.D.
doesn't
Lamb.
win you playoff games.
Yeah. So you don't think it's a Dak issue? You think
I
if
think
Dak?
Dak's a part of the issue. He's the starting quarterback.
Okay.
But
Go back to the
How-
Green Bay game last year. He was horrible.
Mhm.
He was horrible in the play. I mean, he's got to eat that one, doesn't he?
yeah. So go with Cooper Rush.
If that's the only answer, then you made the right
We
decision.
can do this with quarterback is a hard position to play.
Mhm.
Right now it's so skewed because Patrick Mahomes is beating everyone. And
I-
you're going to have to find a way to compete in this league with good at quarterback. You're not always going to be able to find great.
Yeah, I think the issue on Dak is you can find the negative, right? You can say, look at the Green Bay game. You can look. You don't have but look at the positive. The positive is he puts up great numbers against Washington and the Giants in the regular season. He had really good stats last year in the regular season.
But then it's also, what has Kirk Cousins ever done that it's immediate shoe and you take him over?
Well,
there?
I don't buy that argument. I'm not on the Kirk Cousins is better than
Like Dak got a recent contract,
Mhm.
so it's going to be high. But Dak is in amongst a group of a lot of quarterbacks where you're trying to compete with good, and they happen to have great money.
Dude, if you're a quarterback, you're getting paid. I mean, you just if you're a quarterback, you're getting paid. You just are. All right, what do you got to know as you go through your day? Aggies were winners last night. They beat the Louisiana Tech Bulldogs double overtime, 33-30. Mike Washington with a winning touchdown in the second overtime. Brandon Nunez came in to quarterback late for the Aggies, who are now 2-5 overall and 1-3 in Conference USA. Yankees beat the Guardians last night. They have a 2-0 lead in the American League Championship Series. Aaron Judge hit his first postseason home run of the season. They'll go to Ohio tomorrow, up 2-0. Dodgers and Mets, Game 3, National League Championship Series tonight in Queens. That series is tied at 1 game apiece. And no trades today in the National Football League that I saw. Oh, and then there's this. Bet online, Mountain West men's basketball odds. JJ, is this right? The Lobos were the betting favorite to win the Mountain West?
Yes, they were.
They're at plus 325, Boise State plus 350, Nevada plus 360. San Diego State's got the fourth longest odds to win the Mountain West at plus 375.
Just turnover.
Yeah, but. Okay.
Yeah, and I know that they could be the best team in the league. But what you're reacting to is you haven't seen them, this iteration of them on the floor.
Fair enough. What's the point guard Boise State got? The guy from
San Jose State.
From San Jose State. Probably
Darrow.
the best true point guard that they've had in a long time to go with. I mean, everything coming back, right? Omar Stanley's coming back, and
Dagenhart.
Dagenhart's like Decadero. What's his name? You just said. Are they the? I mean, they could be the best team in the league too. Mountain West basketball is going to be fun. It's going to be fun to watch most of these teams play in non-conference too. Right? Because I think, for the most part, these teams have upped their scheduling. I mean, you know what New Mexico's doing. Right? You know that they've got UCLA and they got Arizona State and maybe USC or St. Mary's. You know they got St. John's. You know, but look at some of this stuff, and I don't know how you're going to feel now with the separation, but San Diego State non-conference plays Gonzaga, Creighton, Oregon, Texas A&M, and Cal. pretty good, right?
Not too shabby.
Boise State's going to go out and they're going to test themselves as well. Not to the same extent, actually. Well, San Francisco's all right. They play Clemson, Washington State, St. Mary's. JJ, I thought it'd be thicker than that, didn't you? And that almost disappoints. For a team that's supposed to be that good, almost disappoints me. Nevada, and I think a lot of this is coming, from what'd you do last year? They'll play Washington, Santa Clara, Vanderbilt, Washington State. Okay? Is Washington State still considered a good schedule? They're not a power conference team anymore. Sam Houston, Washington, Weber State, Santa Clara, Vanderbilt, Washington State. So you get Washington and Washington. Loyola Marymount, South Dakota State, Texas Southern. League play starts early, by the way. Really early, on the 21st. All right, Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowards after that. 2 Men On is here at 4. We're back tomorrow morning with award-winning radio. We'll start at 7 a.m. Adrian looks great, always does. Thank you for the visuals. Big day for you.
Huge day.
All right, enjoy it. We're back in the morning, 7 a.m. Be good to each other, please, boys and girls. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. Smell you tomorrow.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need.